This is Lansdowne Road, the voice of the fans, and today we're going to be talking about 5 Irish eligible players that could help Ireland qualify for the World Cup. Could help Ireland qualify for the World Cup. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, and you're very welcome to another special little video here on Lansdowne Roar. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Lansdowne Roar, the YouTube channel. Head over to Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter accounts, and head up to lansdowneroad.ie. We've got a new website on the way. It is coming. We just had a little look at it there today, and it looks amazing. Of course it would. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Lansdowne Roar Plus if you want a little bit of extra Lansdowne Roar, and it's a great way to sponsor and support the channel. You can head over to Lansdowne Roar Plus. It's brilliant, and I think it's brilliant. It is brilliant. Connor thinks it's brilliant. It is brilliant, and the subscribers that subscribe to it is brilliant. So bloody do it. And that costs you $4.99 per month, $4.99, whatever currency, whatever country you're living in. And that is a lovely way to support the pod. Don't worry. None of the stuff you enjoy is going behind a paywall before we start panicking. It's just a little extra content. And if you do it before the 31st of August, well, midnight, the 31st of August, you go into a draw to possibly win a Roma jersey. Well, you will win it if you win you'll win the Roma jersey if you win the draw, but the possibility you might win it, but you go into that drawer. So, you know, what are you waiting for? Get stuck in. Right. Exactly. Get a bit of Roar Plus into you. Rawr. Anyway, Connor, it's been a long day. Still, as recording, still in Ireland, still renovating, still working away. So pardon the mess in the background. If you do see a figure or something in the background, please let me know. I was having a fight with a tiger moth. Got another one there. I think they're ganging up with me, Connor. But this is what happens when you live in Ireland, isn't it? Tiger moths everywhere. I
think you need put down at this stage. To be honest with you, you belong with an animal in a cage. But I don't know what I'm going to say back. Did you ask me how I was, or are you just ranting along? Because usually you're open and you ask how I am, but now you're in a wee rant here.
I have cabin fever. I've been stuck in the house for the last 3.
Think of the positives. At the time of recording, it's the 14th of August, 25 minutes past 11, and we've 2 teams heading into the Conference League playoff round in Ireland, which is a huge thing. It did happen last year, but obviously it was St. Pat's ended up playing Istanbul Başakşehir, and now we have Rovers against Santa Clara, which will obviously be very tough, and then you Shells against Linfield, which will be the rematch of all rematches. Really, it's like a WrestleMania rematch of Rock against John Cena, and it's going to be Shells just picking up the W again. But anyway, away from that, it's good to be back on one of these 5 possible Irish international videos, because they always seem to be ones fans like to hear more about who's the next shiny toy that can take Ireland back to the promised land.
Yeah, shiny toy. Yes, let's get into that, shall we? Let's get into that straight away.
Well, we'll promise. So we must promise before we start. If we're qualifying for the World Cup anyway, these are just people that's going to help us. Like, instead of like going through the playoff, we'll just win the group outright. Isn't that right, Dave? So we don't have to spend extra money buying flights in March to Kazakhstan for a playoff semi-final.
Number 1. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall.
No. His name's not Kieran.
Sorry, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Number 1, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Go on, tell us about him. Why is he so special? What's so good about him, eh? What makes him? No, Connor. What makes him more special than what we have? Why do you want him instead of what position is he playing?
Midfield.
Why do you want him instead of Josh Cullen? Eh? Tell us about that. Go on.
I think you could answer that one for me, Dave, can you?
No.
It's just questions here. Well, he's not a number 6, so he's not going to be playing over Josh Cullen there. But yeah, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall.
And Will Smallbone. Why do you want him over Will Smallbone?
Because he's way better at football than him.
Wow. Cousin Will.
But anyway, Dewsbury-Hall, I think everyone knows that actually watches football, and like yourself, that he is an outstanding footballer. If he came into the Ireland setup, Dave,
fucking house would last 3 weeks.
What has that got to do? It's like did he only start playing football last week? Has he only just started playing football?
I haven't watched anything.
Did he not get like
I'm
the
going
Conference
crazy
League
to
team?
fucking.
Did
Sorry.
he not get like the Conference League team of the year or something with Chelsea last season? Obviously, he was bought by Chelsea last season by Enzo Maresca, who had him at Leicester, and then barely played him because they had too many players. And then now he's gone to Everton, 25 million, I believe. Chelsea have lost 5 million on him. But yeah, excellent player. I think he will be the type of player that will help Everton get to that next level. I think it might have been a bit silly to think that Jason Knight was going to go there if they're signing players at Dewsbury-Hall's ability. Not against Jason Knight, but just Dewsbury-Hall is the type of fella that
What's wrong with Jason Knight?
He's just not as good as Dewsbury-Hall. Dewsbury-Hall could play.
Wow.
I said Dewsbury-Hall
Wow.
could play regularly for 8 out of. Oh no, sorry. There would be anyone outside the top 8. He would play every minute of the game, and then probably other than your Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, there was a question about who he wouldn't start for, because he's an excellent player, type of midfield player that really is very good to watch. Can play as a number 8, can play as a number 10. Like didn't he win Player of the Year in the Championship with Leicester? I'm not 100% on that or not, but he was definitely the best player in his position. He's probably a level above what we have in midfield at the moment, just to put it bluntly. I think if he came into our team, he would revolutionise it. I think years ago the FAI may have spoken to him, but I don't know if anything developed from there. I think he's 27, I believe his age is. You can tell me if I'm wrong, Dave, because I know you know everyone's age. He would still have plenty of years. 26 actually. He's 27 on the day we play Hungary. So yeah, that'd be a good way of celebrating his birthday, making his debut for Ireland, beating Hungary. And I do think he would be the type of player if he came into our team. It's like I get fans to be so excited because they just know he's that level of player. And positive, Dave, who's he at club level line with? Seamus Coleman, Jake O'Brien.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it must. I think it must be said with these sort of lads is they shouldn't need like a Seamus Coleman begging to him or telling them you have to play for. They have to want to play for Ireland. That's the most important thing. We don't want lads that are just there willy nilly, and if there's any little injury because they don't really care, they'll pull out. It has to be that they want to play. But if he has an interest in coming in for Ireland, I do think he'd come in and he'd just start him as soon as he's an option because he's an absolutely outstanding player.
Yeah, you see, I could, that could happen. Seamus Coleman could put the arm around him or the Hurley and say, listen, Kiernan, sorry. I think you should be Kieran. If he actually does qualify, if he does get to play for Ireland.
Westwood.
What?
Kieran Westwood. His name wasn't Kieran Westwood.
We're not talking about him. Now this lad here, Kieran. We'll rename him Kieran with a C, and we're going to throw a few fucking fathers in there as well. So yeah, if he qualifies for Ireland, if he comes and he answers the call of Seamus Coleman, we're going to call him Kieran. Listen, I don't hate Jason Knight or Josh Cullen as much as you do, but I suppose I would welcome him.
Whoa.
You're on about
literally in the hate club for Josh Cullen. I'm one of the people that stick up from him. And he would be challenging for the same position as Josh Cullen anyway.
Libelous young man, absolutely libelous. I love Josh Cullen.
Could you imagine midfield of could you imagine Boston Wall and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall together?
Jays, you'd love to be filling in that sandwich, wouldn't you, Connor? You dirty bastard. Right. Let's Tiger Moth here. Fucking fuck off. Anyway, right. Sorry. Not you, lovely people and Connor watching. It's just I'm in a very old house. Right. Next one. Number 2. Louie Barry.
This is one, Dave, if anyone's a regular supporter of Lansdowne Roar, that I've mentioned quite a bit because I've heard on quite good account a couple of times that he is going to play for Ireland and is extremely likely it's going to happen. But he's still at the moment, still currently Irish eligible as such. He played for us before at under 16 level, played in the Victory Shield. Excellent player. He absolutely tore apart League 2 and then League 1 with Stockport. He was that good that it was 14 goals he scored between August and December. And then Aston Villa recalled him because he was too good for that level. Joined Hull last season then for the rest of the season. He did play something ridiculous, like 3 million to get him for half a season on loan, which shows how good of a player he is. And then done his knee in his second game for them, so he was kind of a write-off. And then he's gone back. Now he's gone back to Villa. going out and loan to Sheffield United for a season, which is a massive step up, not against Hull, but it's just that they're a better side. They're going to be going for promotion. Made his debut, started left wing in the first game against Bristol City. Obviously lost that, but he was probably the most threatening player. His end product wasn't great that day, but you could see that he has that real threat about him, and that he's the type of fella who would get people off seats. And I know he would have predominantly came through as a striker. Obviously, when he was at Barcelona Academy at one stage, and then he's drifted over to the left wing now, which suits him a lot. He's a goal scoring left winger, cuts inside at him. He cuts inside. You think he's going to score? He's that moment of magic in him, gets fans off their seats. Still extremely young. I believe he was going to come into 21s. 22, sorry. He was going to come into 21s last campaign, and then something happened that stopped that. And then I think he will come into I don't know if he'll come in September or not, because the reality is the wing positions are probably one of our strongest positions, which because you have Rocco Vata, Mikey Johnson on the left, you have Festi, you have Casey McAteer, Ogbene on the right, and Spodek tends to play on us to the left. So I think he's probably considered a wing option, but Izaz is the 10. So yeah, it's not that he's going to walk into the Ireland squad. He'd still have to do very well with Sheffield United, but he's a real option. I think he's someone that, like, long term could be someone who could be a huge player for Ireland. But if he could come in September, I wouldn't be surprised, presuming if everything I hear is right on him.
It depends, really. I think it's up to him. I think he could. If he does come in, he's heavily linked to come into the Ireland team. But sorry to declare for Ireland, he's heavily.
I'll lose all credibility if he doesn't.
You do. Terry, what credibility? No,
that's true.
No. I mean, he could walk in that position. It is a shame. We do badly need central midfielders. But Mike Johnson, he hasn't had a great start to the championship. To be fair, he's on loan to Sheffield United from Villa, and Sheffield United absolutely had a stinker of a first game, losing 4-1 to Bristol, I believe. So it's all really about form. Mikey Johnson, terrible form, and Festi Abisala is not having the best times in Turkey, and there's been questions over his attitude at club level as well. So it's all there for him if he shows what he's about. So he could very well come in to the squad in September. So that'd be an interesting one. I mean, we need fresh blood, which is great. Another granny ruler. Right, number 3, Mr. Denis Cirkin. This one now has been bandied around. He's been passed around like a newborn baby. Actually born in Ireland, so it's a bit mental that he's Irish eligible and he's actually fucking born in the country. He's 23 years of age. He is a defender, plays for Sunderland, who are currently in the Premier League. Had an absolute shitter of a game in the playoff. Let's be honest, he did. That was a terrible game of football between two very poor sides, Sheffield United and Sunderland. It was a very poor game, and I thought I think I said it to you, Connor, whoever goes up is going straight back down. And I think I've stuck by that, actually, in my predictions. But here's the lad. He's been bandied around a little bit. He was born in Dublin, but I think he's got Latvian Latvian parents.
Yeah, his parents are both Latvian.
Yeah, so fair enough. We won't,
He doesn't really have an emotional connection to Ireland, you would probably say.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, this is the modern world. But yeah, there was talk that he's always represented England at every level, from under 16s to under 20s. So, and he still hasn't had a call up. He's had a call up to the under 21s, but he's pulled out due to a hamstring injury. And of course, we all know who the under 21 manager is, Mr. Lee Carsley. So this is an interesting one. I can't see this happening.
It's a weird one, Dave, because you see the first half of last season championship, he was probably the best left back in the league, and I thought he was absolutely outstanding. And whilst he was at his very best, which was quite interesting, never given an opportunity with England 21s, never called up once, never got a sniff, even when they had injuries. And then he got injured, came back from injury, clearly never recovered the rest of the season. Like, he's not a world beater. It's not like he's Dennis Irwin or he's Andy Robertson, but he's a very good player, and he came back and he did struggle a lot. Like, he was very poor in that playoff final, but then he got his first England under 21 call up in March when he was playing very poorly, and then he was playing even worse in June, and then he got called up to the Euro squad, which just didn't add up to me. It started, alarm bells started to ring that maybe other countries, whether it was Ireland or Latvia, were making progress, and he was considering it, and England do what they usually do, and the panic call adds up to keep away Ireland or whoever else they're eligible for. And yeah, so it's weird. Like, whether we get him or not, I'm not really too fussed, even though he obviously would improve us like any good player would improve us. Even depth-wise, what looks like Robbie Brady's going to be out in September, we are lacking. But I do think could struggle this year at Sunderland. In fact, Sunderland have brought in a couple of fullbacks. I don't know what I mean that he might go out the door, because he's always been linked to going back to Spurs, but he's probably not good enough to play for Spurs, let's be honest with you.
Do you think, so you basically think because he's not good enough for England, he's going to come crawling back to the country of his birth?
Or it could be Latvia, I don't know what could go play for Latvia, might feel more proud playing for Latvia, I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I mean, it's an interesting one. Like, I don't think we could criticize that too much, because, you have players like David Leary, Paul McGrath, who were born, and I dare say, a family member of mine who were born in London, but they're as Irish as anything. Yeah. So it's the same with him. So he could either feel, because he's grown up in England, because I think he went over as a baby.
Yeah,
he went over as a baby, then he went back.
He wouldn't have any recollection of living in Ireland at all, like.
And that's fair enough. And his parents are Latvian, so it is gonna. So I totally get the whole no emotional connection. So before people start going, oh, well, how can he do that? He's born in Dublin, but that's why. And the Irish have done. We've done that for generations. We could do with this guy mostly not because he's so great, it's because we have very few options. We don't actually have a left back. We in fact do not have a proper left back in that position. So yeah, I agree. We could do with him, but whether he does or not, and look, I think there's a bit of a player in there, but yeah, he did fall off a cliff there, and I think the Sunderland, the management of Sunderland realised you're not really good enough for the Premier League level, and we don't really trust you. So they've gone elsewhere. So
it's interesting how it'll go this weekend. Cause I think he's carrying an injury in pre-season. It'll be interesting how it goes. It was interesting though that he pulled out of the Euro squad. I think just said for fatigue reasons over the injuries he previously had, and I'm guessing that could have been mainly because he probably knew he wasn't going to play after not playing any qualifiers, and he was going to come into the squad and just not play a minute, like basically not play at all, and be left there in the dirt on the sidelines, and maybe got a couple of minutes in the last game to try and keep him happy, or one of the few last group games. But yeah, so it's one to keep an eye on. Whether anything comes from that, we don't know, because you never really get much of a hint. I know he's spoken about playing for England 21s, how proud he was, or great. I think it was grateful, the word he used, that Lee Carsey was picking him, but he couldn't make the squad. But yeah, I guess you just have to wait and see with that one, because we just don't know, do we?
Yeah, and he was also, he was probably just saying that so he doesn't, pissing anyone's cornflakes. Right, next one, number 4. Four. CJ Egan-Riley, who is currently at Marseille. He's 22 years of age, born in Manchester. He has represented the boys in green at under 16 level. He was at under 15 level in 2018, then changed to the boys in green at the under 16 level. And then he went back to England under 16, and he's been under 17, 18, 19, and 21. He's not had a senior call-up, I don't believe, for the international. He received his first call-up for the under-21 side. He made his debut on the 21st of March. It's according to Wikipedia, by the way, 21st of March of this year in a 5-3 defeat to France. Now, is this because they've changed the rules so that this boy could be... Now, he's a defender, so it's really...
Yeah, it's the rule change means he's eligible.
So he's now eligible. That rule change has gone through, just for our...
there was never any official confirmation whether it has or not, but from my understanding, it's as good as gone through.
Okay. Obviously, I know the answer to that. I'm just for our... just for the viewers, Connor. He's a defender. He's a central defender, isn't he? That's probably one.
Yeah, defender, can play midfield, can play fullback. Very versatile player.
Yeah, he's the kind of lad that we could really benefit with him, to be honest. Because if he could play left fullback or centre midfield, even though I think Josh Cullen is a marvellous player, and you hate him.
Yeah, you're so worried. But anyway, But anyway, away from you bullying players, yes, CJ Egan-Riley, excellent player. Kind of went out of the off. No, I wouldn't say off the rails. He just wasn't playing. I remember he went on loan to P because he went from City. I remember he started in the Champions League and done really well, and then signed for Burnley under company, and then he went to PSV's second team on loan, who played in the second tier Holland, and they didn't exercise the buy option in the clause. They went back to Burnley last summer and had an unbelievable season. Got in the team of the season in the Championship. But his contract was up because he hadn't just accepted one, and Burnley had offered him a new deal for the Premiership. But interestedly, he has gone and signed for Marseille this summer on a free contract, which is probably a great move to a top side that are playing Champions League football. Obviously, they've some excellent players. Zerbi's the manager. He'll do very, very well there. Interestingly, he in the 21s Euros this summer, I don't think he'll be best pleased. He didn't play at all until the final. He came on with like 2 minutes left and ended up playing with extra time. But like he didn't play any minutes at all. He was the third choice I think he could have been fourth choice centre half for England's or 21s, which wouldn't have been the best probably thing for his like love. But if he was ever considering playing for Ireland, because obviously he has, if he's played for us in the past, there's obviously some interest there. He I think if you're looking for Ireland, he would be a centre back option, not a midfielder or full back, because he just doesn't play at their club level anymore. So it's kind of hard to just say, oh yeah, we're just going to throw you in here. But yeah, excellent player. I think he could be one to come on to radar this year, because it's going to be hard to see him going into England senior squad after not being considered like a number one option in the 21s, or not even two, or sometimes the third option. Made his debut very late in the campaign, and it seemed to. And interesting, well, it's just something small, like, it's like little things you see. It's like, say they're after winning their 21s Euros and all their players are plastering it all over their social medias or putting posts up celebrating the trophy. He put absolutely nothing up. So maybe it was a sort of thing that he was very disappointed with the lack of minutes, and kind of might have put him in a bad frame of mind over England.
Yeah, or yet again, he would have an agent in his ear, and I reckon he's just playing the field a little bit. And I think I think he's just being smart, because there's a lot of people out there to watch it. Oh my God, he follows John O'Shea. I think he follows John O'Shea on Instagram. Is it Cirkin, is it?
And Louie Barry does now.
And Louie Barry. So, people read into it. It could be literally nothing. He's probably like a Man United fan growing up or something, or, maybe he's just trying to keep everyone happy.
But the Louie Barry thing was only recent, and he may have deleted all his posts on his Instagram that had him playing for England.
See, that's what people read into these things. I can remember, right? It's a true story.
Well, I could just say we know Louie Barry's going to play for Ireland, but
I remember reading in the newspaper when Stephen Arna said he was coming back to the fold to play under Trapattoni, because he walked out on a stand, and even that they'd gone to Umbro to get his measurement, never happened. I remember that in the paper, and some of you older followers of the Roar Faithful will probably remember that. But anyway, look, best of luck to him. Definitely a player we could do with. Probably not as a central defender. I think we're quite bottom heavy there. You are, but who knows? Right, number 5, Paul Nebel. The last one, yeah. Paul Nebel. So a little bit about Paul. He was born in Bad Nauheim. I think that's how you're saying it. In Germany in 2002.
Oh, he's quite young then.
He is. He's 22, but he will be 23 come 10th of October. He currently plays for Mainz 05, and yeah, he's represented Germany all the way through from under 15s to under 21s. He does qualify for the boys in green through his grandparents, I believe. There are talks. There's actually a bit of an article here on lansdowneroad.ie. Funny enough, if you put in Paul Nebel or Paul Nebel. So his grandmother's from Ireland. My mother's half Irish. I was there very often as a child, says Nebel. Ireland is a bit of a second home for me. That's what he has to say about that. He also basically, I'm trying to look at it there, but anyway, basically, didn't he say that if it doesn't work out for him for Germany, that he'd happily play for Ireland?
He said something like he said before the Euros, I think it was a Euro press conference, which you take up with German reporters. He did say, what the translation was like, the Irish spoke to me, which meant a lot. They contacted me before the tournament, whatever. And if it does, whatever way, if it doesn't work out with the thing, it would be interesting playing for Ireland. I don't know whether there was a translation meant that, but I'm guessing it's his priority still is to play for Germany. But maybe that was just until he ended. Maybe he's considering it now. But it's an interesting one. Yeah, he's quite heavily flirted with it in the past. Like I seen he'd done an interview with Neil O'Riordan with the Sun about 4 or 5 months ago. It was early 2025, speaking about like his connection to Ireland and his love for Ireland. So obviously he wouldn't have accepted to do that interview with him if he didn't have some level of love for the country. He obviously has a love for the country. He obviously would have spent summers here when he was younger. And it's an interesting one. Anyway.
Yeah, but and that's fair enough. He's a winger, by the way. Sorry, folks, I meant to say that. He is a winger. I don't have an issue with that. He's just being honest, isn't he? Like if you're growing up in Germany, and you want to play for the Germans, like that.
Yeah.
You've not only chance of qualify. You're not just qualifying for a tournament. You're fucking him with a chance of winning the tournament. So I totally understand that, and if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, still doesn't. If he's not good enough for Germany, it doesn't make him a bad player. At the end of the day, this isn't Ireland. I put a post up there where we were 6th in the world in 1993, and we were that bloody good. Where we were, you could actually, we people who were good enough to play for England actually said, you know what, well, I'm going to play for Ireland. That seems a lot more fun over there, and actually, you have a good team, you have some quality players. We're not there anymore, so we can't really have an argument there. Like if you were born and raised in Germany and you've gone through the German youth system, I think if we were to get something like that, it'd be a coup. But for us, I know some people would be like, "Oh, we just want to play for Ireland straight away. You got the hell with him." But no, I just think he's been honest. He has a love for Ireland, I've no doubt. He comes over a lot, or he did when he was growing up, and you can love both countries. So I'd be okay with that. I'm sure I'm going to get absolutely slaughtered, in the comments over that. But fuck it, that's what I think.
Yeah, because the thing is, he's an outstanding player. He had an excellent end to the Euros. Really, the start of the Euro wasn't that great, and then he kind of took off in the final against England. He scored an absolute worldie, and then unfortunately he hit the crossbar with another. It was an outstanding attempt. Really, it was not an easy chance. I think it was the very last minute of injury time, and then England obviously went on and won.
I told you he would.
Time. Yeah,
but I told you he would.
But it was good to see him actually do. It was good to see him do well because he seems a likable fella, and even if he doesn't play for Ireland, I think he's quite one that we kind of all want to see do well because he's openly spoke about his love for the country, which is always good to see when someone loves our country because we love.
Oh, please! You're one of those, aren't you? You're one of those, aren't you? When you go to a concert and like somebody puts on, Ed Sheeran puts on an Ireland top, goes, "Oh, I love Ireland! Oh my God, he loves Ireland!"
No,
Robbie Williams. Oh my God, you're one of those.
No, because I know all I'm saying, and they go to the concert and they're like, "Oh, you were my favorite show of all. Dublin is my favorite show," and they say it in every single city they go to.
Martin falls for the hook, line, and sinker, doesn't he? Every fucking time, Martin does. I thought he's wearing an Ireland jersey. Look, oh my God, he's one of us.
Yeah, but I do think it's a big difference saying the jersey and saying that you're actually the connection he does clearly have. But it would be he'd be an outstanding coup. Obviously, Heimer's been in contact with him, which is good to see. Heimer's kind of on the case with all these lads, and it'd be interesting to see how well them talks went. I think this playing in under 21s Euro is massive for players, not just for getting to play in a major tournament. They're getting a profile of if they do well, all these big clubs will be looking at them. Look at Voltemade, that was the striker for Germany. His interest only heightened because he was the best player in that tournament. Like even Harvey Elliott went at an unbelievable tournament, and it just showed how high quality of a player he is. And you could see that he could play for really anyone. It's just unfortunate that he's playing for Liverpool. He's not really going to get playing. But yeah, it was he's a player of like real high quality who has very high potential. The only problem he probably has at Germany is that Germany have world-class players in his position. Like he kind of plays as number 10 a lot as well. And I know Jamal Musiala is probably their best player. Florian Wirtz is there as well. That if he's want to play on the left, is competing with him to, yeah. He shite. What a waste of money. But anyway, thing is, Musiala is out for quite a few months with the bad leg injury he got in the Club World Cup. But yeah, it just shows the options. Even they have like Leroy Sané still, Serge Gnabry. Like they have a lot of high quality players, and it's going to take a lot for him to break into that. And maybe he might have thought it would be quite cool if he thought, yeah, I'll play the 21 Euros with Germany and then I'll go play for Ireland after. But we just don't know with these lads until they either put on a green jersey or they go and represent the country of birth.
Yeah, well, best luck to him anyway. But yeah, you never know if he doesn't make it. I mean, I just kind of said they're an outstanding team. Germany, a fabulous team. It doesn't make him a bad player. And let's be honest, beggars can't be choosers. But anyway, they are the 5 Irish eligible players that could help Ireland qualify for the World Cup or win it if you're Connor, win the World Cup. Anyway, what do you think? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with us? What would you have to say about our picks? Is there anyone else? Is there anyone we have missed out on? I want you to put that in the comments below. And are you the sort of person like Connor who gets fooled by somebody wearing an Ireland top and claims they're Irish and absolutely creams himself? And Martin as well.
It's only because you're half British.
Connor, we've spoken about this many times before, and I'm not going to justify that with a response. Anyway, that is all we have time for in this episode here of Lansdowne Roar. Thank you very much. We'll be live during the week. I'm not sure when we'll get this out, so I'm not going to give you a day.
No, because we know it will be, because this is going up next week, so we'll be live later in the week.
We'll be live later in the week or early next week or whatever.
We'll be live.
Yeah, I will be back in London. And then I'm off to Budapest. See, Connor, this is what I do. I'm actually.
What date are you going to Budapest?
I am going to Budapest to do a bit of scouting.
I said what date?
Oh, what date? Sorry, I thought what makes you go to Budapest.
No.
21st.
For long?
3 nights.
Oh, so I was going to 21st is that a week?
Yeah. I'm not doing it live.
No, I was going to say, are you going to day that Fair and Forest are planning to go watch Captain Cod?
I don't know. Are they playing? I might do. I'm actually going up for 40th birthday, which was planned ages ago. This wasn't planned in Ireland, but there you go. That's real life, isn't it? So I will be away for a few days. I know.
Oh, they have next weekend off, actually. They play Karabag on the 19th, and it seems like they're getting a week off the league, maybe to prioritize. It's because they said they have a game on the 20th against D-Sigor, but it looks like it says TBD, so it must be getting changed.
Now that is a shame, because it's actually on the way to the airport or on the way through. Because I've been to Budapest before 5 years ago. With an ex-missus of mine, won't talk about it.
But Cod will be there, and Robbie Keane will be there. Maybe you can go find them.
Maybe it will. I'm sure Martin. I'll probably bump it to Martin there somehow. You know what he's like. Goes to the opening of an envelope. He would. No, Budapest is a lovely city. Actually, it is a really nice city, and the tour is beautiful. When you go on the Danube, because Budapest. You know why it's called Budapest?
Because someone from Budapest decided that.
No, on one side. So you got the Danube that goes right through, and on one side you have Buda, and the other side you have Pest. Genuinely, that is why it's called Budapest. You see, folks, that is just a kind of thing that you just don't know what you're going to get on Lansdowne Roar. But there you go. So I will be away for a little bit anyway, and I just seem to be constant. I cannot wait to be back in my own bed. By the way, right. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Before I do that, do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. We're also on TikTok. I don't know why we don't really push that, but there you go. Head over to lansdowneroad.ie. We do have a brand new website on the way. Once I get bloody back from here, we'll get it all sorted. Plus, if you want a little bit extra plus, you got Lansdowne Roar Plus. For $4.99, whatever currency, whatever country you are in, or whatever rock you're under, if you're Connor or Martin, you can head over to Lansdowne Roar Plus, and you can subscribe there. A bit of extra content. You get stuff like this, Mix 96, 97. I really put the other episode on that, but we do a Raw Retro, which is a visual and audio experience. Also, we have the State of Play, which is a football, basically a world football podcast. I know Martin and Connor are going to record that tomorrow, we hope. Martin?
Next week there'll be another one out next week anyway.
And there'll be another one back out next week, and this is what we do. And of course, Connor, if they enter before the 31st before the 1st of September, so midnight, 31st of August midnight, they go into this draw. Tell them about it, Connor.
Yeah, you can win an Evan Ferguson jersey. Really, that's all you need to know. Yeah, Evan Ferguson jersey up for grabs. Obviously, a jersey your choice, because obviously they have a very nice home jersey and away jersey. So if you win the competition, you can decide which one you want with Evan Ferguson on the back, and you can go and flog it for a lot of money if you want, because it's like the jersey's €120, so it's not cheap. €120 out of our pockets, Dave. Oof.
What?
Martin said that. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully as many people join as possible, and even if they don't want to watch us, they can just buy it, and then they can unrenew their their membership. But we all know
what the fuck are you doing?
No, but you just have to tell people, be honest. But they won't get enough. They can't get enough of us, these people out here these days. So they're begging for more.
They are. Don't listen to him. Just don't. Just hit click, subscribe. Don't worry about the rest. Let the magic take over. And it is magic here on Lansdowne Road, the voice of the fans. We haven't one of those Twilight Zone episodes that we do. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Connor. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next one. All the best. I'm going to say slán. I've never said slán. That's Irish for goodbye, Martin, in case you're watching. Ihama. That's good night as well. God, I could be here all day.
Oh, shut up, will you? Just end the video.
All right. Good night. Bye bye. God bless.